Let's talk about CLOV. Hello and welcome back to another video. I'm your beautiful host, Young Buffett, back with another CLOV recap. Let's talk about what happened today. Let's talk about dark pools. They're getting very interesting. Let's take a look at public sentiment. Let's take a look at the overall chart, where it's going to go, where it was, what's going to happen, different things to look for. And we're going to do all of that, not in that order. So stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed if you're new here. We are tracking the most talked about stocks, the most manipulated stocks, stocks that are hype stocks, meme stocks, momentum stocks, stocks that are just honestly fun to play around with. And jumping over to Ape Wisdom, that tracks Wall Street Bets, Wall Street Bets New, Wall Street Bets Elite, stock market, investing, SPACs, options, and day trading subreddits. The most talked about ticker today in the past 24 hours, SPY, as always. Just breaking records time after time, keeping that number one position. SPY is just killing it. Except today, it kind of was dipping. There's some overall market scares, things with the Delta, things with things closing, China ports, and, you know, there's a lot of negative potential catalysts out there. So I think it's a sketchy time. It feels kind of toppy, but we just honestly have to wait and see what happens. Number two, AMC. They did fantastic today, or they are currently doing fantastic at the time of this recording. Again, we also own AMC and recap AMC sometimes on this channel. So let me know if you guys want to see more AMC videos. But so far, we've been really focusing on CLOV and babysitting our Clover position here because we are very negative on it. Currently sitting negative 24.45% on our CLOV, which is number 4 of the most talked about stocks in the past 24 hours. Overall sentiment, 71% positive. That is just getting better and better overall. People are getting more and more positive conversations about it on Reddit. It's nearby words including AMC, like, wish, bought, good, more, moon, out again, GME, downtime, recalls, stock. So overall, with 257 mentions, that is up 39%, 4,673 upvotes. A lot of people looking at it, a lot of people talking about it. But jumping over into swaggy stocks, that shows Wall Street Bets in particular. Now remember, this one showed all of these. This one only shows Wall Street Bets. Now people are talking about Tesla, people are talking about Wish, Baba, Apple, then CLOV. It keeps honestly just bouncing back and forth. So it's just always there. It's always being talked about. And people are just keeping track of how it performs, as we are doing with our daily recap videos here. So this chart I like. It's really interesting. As you can see here, the stock price goes up, then people start to talk about it. Sometimes the stock price goes up and people stop talking about it. So I'm curious to see, I've never seen this before. What happens when comment volume goes up and the stock price is coming down? It looks like they're about to converge over here a little bit. Again, I'm not pulling any conclusions from any of this stuff. I'm just tracking it, documenting the journey here, and trying to figure out what affects what. And on that note, what affects what? Max Payne. This is something new that I am really trying to focus on this week, maybe next week, trying to understand where the stock price will fall depending on what the Max Payne is. So for CLOV for this week, all of the options expiring, the maximum Payne is $9. So just a quick recap. Again, I do have a video that talks about specifically what Max Payne is. So if you don't know, go watch that video and then come back, or just stick around. I don't know, up to you, whatever you want. But maximum Payne, all you need to know, where does the stock price need to be to cause the most damage for calls and puts? What's interesting is somebody asked, if the Max Payne is higher than the current stock price, does that mean the market makers would want it to go up? Kind of. So it kind of depends. If you look at some other tickers, like let's look at SPY, for example. The S&P 500, as you can see, there is a lot of puts, right? A lot of people are positioning for puts. They're expecting some downside. The max Payne is 445. The max Payne for SPY changes a lot. So The max Payne is 445. That means SPY has to be 445 by tomorrow to cause the most amount of calls and the most amount of puts to expire worthless. They want to cause the most amount of pain. Market makers sell you contracts so it causes the most amount of pain. I've been talking about this and I've been beating this dead horse, but I want to see how it affects things. But my point is why I'm showing SPY. Look at all of the puts. CLOV doesn't have that many puts. There's not that much meat left on CLOV. It's already like $8. How much lower can it go? That means these puts, they're not as profitable. That means people aren't necessarily buying puts on CLOV. It's just there's more upside potential than there is downside potential. Let's look at it that way. So if CLOV's max Payne is 9, CLOV, if it closes at 8.5, it's not that big of a deal for the market makers because there's not that many puts. If it closes at 8, it's not that big of a deal. Maybe 7.5. It's not that big of a deal for them. But ideally, they want it to be anywhere from 8 to 9, worst case 9.5. And I'm talking about the market makers, the people who sell you the calls and the puts. When you buy a call, you're buying it from somebody, an institution, or somebody like me who's selling puts or something like that, you know? So this is where they want it to be. And I want to see if we do end up here. I want to see if this stock is controlled and manipulated to the point where it ends up here. And it actually might. So let's see. Dark pool is very interesting today or this week. It was -5. Now it's -3. So it seems to be kind of slowing down a little bit. The net short volume in dollars is -27.5 million. So again, it is still heavily shorted. There is a lot of activity going on in the dark pool. But this post by JGV Ape on the CLOV subreddit was very interesting. This is going to blow your mind away. 2.857 billion shares of CLOV have gone through the ATS, which is the dark pools, and the OTC exchange since the beginning of the year to July 12th. And before you ask, this is not cumulative. That is very interesting. The reason why we only have the data to back to July 12th is because they only report on a weekly basis and they're a month behind. That's also very interesting. Why are they a month behind? The light blue are the shares for that week. The light green are the transaction counts for that week. And the light orange are the average block sizes. So the share counts and the transition count. But 2.857 billion. That's 20 times the volume of the free float. We can understand that volume in the dark pool, but OTC? That is weird. I guess if you wanted to create naked synthetic shares that you would do that through the OTC, but running that much volume through OTC is straight up theft. And I agree. I'm going to post this link in my description down below. So if you guys want to take a look at this post or even engage in the comments, feel free to do so. It's very, very interesting. There is just a lot of dark pool activity, which then just translates to manipulation. Are they buying here, selling on retail? Are they buying here, selling on OTC? Are they shorting here so we don't know where they're shorting at? Where do they want the stock price to go? Well, obviously, they want it to stay down. So just a quick recap. We're still holding our 309 shares. We are still holding the September 17th call. And we're only down 7%, which translates to $1.50. So the stock's not moving, guys. And pretty much all I can say is this might give a good opportunity to average down if you haven't done so already. I am looking into a potential entry price to start scaling in even more. Our cost basis currently is $10.78. I would love that to be 9 or 8. So saving up some capital, waiting on the right time. waiting on some potential catalysts. I would rather be late than wrong. I am not a financial advisor, and nothing in this video should be taken as financial advice or a recommendation to buy or sell any type of security or investment. But do your own research, see if it's right for you. I am going to be looking into scaling in some more, lowering my cost basis, and seeing where we can end up. Lots of good positive news coming up. Who are they going to pick for a CFO? Any COVID-related news, specifically in New York and New Jersey, should be interesting. Overall, keep an eye out. Let's see what happens. I love you guys. If you have any questions, throw it in the comments below. I get back to everything, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.